Well, hello everyone. In our scripture passage for today, God commands Abraham to do something surprising, even confusing. God commands Abraham to offer up his beloved son Isaac as a sacrifice. And at first glance, God's command seems awful. Why would our good and loving God ask Abraham to do such a thing? Well, if we want to better understand the passage, we will need to put some pieces together to get a clearer picture. First, we need to remember that God planned to use Abraham and his family to help solve the bigger problem of the Bible. Ever since the Garden of Eden, we humans had trouble trusting God. So if Abraham wants to become a part of the solution, he will need to trust God even when it feels hard. Now, let's take a look at another important piece of the puzzle. God never really wanted Abraham to do anything bad to his son, Isaac. Even though Abraham and Isaac did not know that at the start of the story, which of course made things very scary, we have a good God who would never have us do anything bad or evil. And so we learn that we can trust God, even when it feels hard or scary. But we have more. When we put our faith into action, it helps us to grow in our faith. Just like we have to work out our muscles if we want to get stronger, we have to use our spiritual muscles of faith and trust to get stronger in our faith. When we have to give something up or do something hard, ultimately, it helps us. And now, take a look at the final piece of the picture. Abraham showed us what it means to have faith in God. When we see people trust in God and live out their faith, it shows us how we can do the same. And when we trust God, it helps inspire other people to believe in God too. Abraham helped model for us what it means to live a faithful life to God, and it reminds us that we can do the same thing for others today. But ultimately, even with all of the different pieces, we still do not have the whole picture. Because in the end, our story for today only makes sense when we look on the other side and see Jesus. Just as Abraham loved his son, God loved his son Jesus and still sent him to us. And ultimately, it's not about the sacrifice that Abraham makes or anything that any of us do. Instead, it's about the sacrifice that God makes for us and what God has done to save us through Jesus. So in the end, this story can teach us important things about trusting God. But ultimately, once we put all of the pieces together, it should help us see more clearly God's love for us and the sacrifice that He made for us. And I hope that helps you to understand our scripture passage just a little bit better. Goodbye, everyone.